When preparing for UPSC, it was a cake. It was, I won't call it a cakewalk because people will get
Yeah.
misguided. But it's like if you understand the concept, UPSC is for you. If you believe in cramming up, yeah, you can get selected. If you have genuine interest in whatever is happening around you in day-to-day life, UPSC will be a cakewalk for you. Yeah,
Okay, wow,
actually,
like that's
actually.
something I've not heard from anyone, because even I have friends who want to take UPSC and they're studying, and whatever we've seen in the media, it sounds like it is the hardest thing on the planet to and the
To
admissions rate
crack.
is also so low.
Now, I'll confess one thing. Medicine was far, far, far more tougher for me than clearing UPSC. That too, I did it 3 times.
Today, I am 160 kilometers north of Mumbai in the coastal town of Daman in Gujarat, and I am here to interview Dr. Saurabh Mishra. He is a remarkable person with an amazing story. He was actually an orthopedic surgeon and he gave it all up to join civil services. He's cleared the UPSC thrice, starting with being in IRS, then IPS, and then now in IAS. He's known as a problem solver. He works as the district collector of Daman. He works on revenue, local elections, and climate change. So, welcome to this podcast, Dr. Mishra. Very happy to have you here and can't wait to find out all about you.
Thanks. Same here.
Okay, so let's start with the most obvious question that everyone will want to know. What was that trigger moment when you were practicing in London? You have studied to become an orthopedic surgeon, which in itself is so hard, and then you decided, I want to give this all up and I want to clear UPSC and join the life of the IAS. So what was that trigger moment? Was it anything in your childhood? Was it something that happened in London? What happened?
See, there's no cliched story as such. I can tell you some inspirational story or something, things of that sort. What actually happened was I was off to India during this Christmas holidays, New Year and Christmas time. So I was staying in Delhi, and while we were kind of having a conversation in the night, it got late. So maybe other indulgences as well. So it got late, and I missed a flight in the morning. So I missed my international flight to London that morning, and then I had got 2-3 days time for the next flight. So during this 2-3 days time, the friend with whom I was staying, he kind of brainwashed me into this. So he was like, "What if you are a doctor over there who knows about you, who cares about you?
Hmm.
Should serve the country." Serve the country was not exactly what he said, but what he meant was, what difference are you making in the lives of people of India, where you did your MBBS, where you did your schooling? So yeah, as you can see, it's not a cliched story.
Well,
So I'm
that is quite interesting in and of itself, because most
yes,
people, I mean, like, you have conversations, but then to actually sort of give it up and act, I think not many people do that.
thanks.
So, so what, like, you had that conversation, and then what was the next step for you?
So as I was in Delhi only, I went to a few coaching centers, collected material and all, and I thought initially, ab initio, in prima facie, I thought this is far more easier than medicine. I mean, I've done medicine for God's sake. What is it in front of medicine? And actually, it turned out to be like that. I was very afraid of cramming up,
Hmm.
and all my 5 years of medicine, I had to cram a lot of facts, at least in the first 2-3 years, 4 years. The last year is definitely application based. Medicine, surgery, all these are application based on the cramming you have done in your first and second year. So I was struggling, though my result doesn't say so. I was a gold medalist in microbiology in second year, and I did good. I had good marks. I was in first 20 toppers of the university, but I had to struggle a lot because of this cramming up. When preparing for UPSC, it was a cake. It was, I won't call it a cakewalk because people will get
Yeah.
misguided. But it's like if you understand the concept, UPSC is for you. If you believe in cramming up, yeah, you can get selected. If you have genuine interest in whatever is happening around you in day-to-day life, UPSC will be a cakewalk for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow,
actually,
like that's
actually.
something I've not heard from anyone, because even I have friends who want to take UPSC and they're studying, and whatever we've seen in the media, it sounds like it is the hardest thing on the planet to and the
To
admissions rate
crack.
is also so low.
Now, I'll confess one thing. Medicine was far, far, far more tougher for me than clearing UPSC. That too, I did it 3 times. I got through in the first time. It was kind of, I was not prepared for the mains because my prelims was not that good. And yeah, something which a kind of a bit of advice for people who are preparing for UPSC: don't listen to people. Old timers who are giving second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, they boast a lot. Even if they are scoring 50 marks, they'll say they are scoring 80 marks. You will get depressed and you won't be preparing for the mains. That's the first attempt in which I got IRS. My rank was about 218. That attempt got ruined. The mains got ruined just because of that. Because people around me, my peers, they were saying we are scoring this much and that much. And when the results came, prelims results came, they were nowhere to be found. And I got through in the prelims. So I wasn't prepared, and it's hardly about 3-4 months time after that, if I'm not I think, yeah, hardly 2-3 months time was there. So I hadn't had much time to prepare. So that's the case.
Yeah, I think lots of people get swayed because, especially in exam time, people are always saying
Yeah,
they're, studying like this or that, and then you just start comparing yourself.
yeah.
So most people take this exam, and once they clear once, they're happy. But you cleared, you went into IRS, then you did the whole thing again, then you did IPS, then you did the whole thing again, and now you're in IAS. So what was that motivation? Why?
See, I'll tell you, I wanted to get into IPS. For that, I wrote the second time. It was my first time. It was but natural that I should have written the second time. That's okay. I got IPS. That too, I got in my home cadre, which was like a dream come true. Because in my childhood, I have a few people in my life who were in the police service, not at IPS level, but at subordinate level, but they were quite an influence over me. So I was very happy with IPS in Madhya Pradesh cadre. But then again, this Rahul Gandhi attempt, what we call it, I got that attempt after serving in police for almost 4 years. I took the chance, I wrote, and that was the attempt in which I was least prepared. And in that attempt, I got IS.
Okay, wow.
So it was like when I was preparing for it, I was additional SP Saga. So I used to study for about an hour and a half or something like that, 2 hours a day, because being an additional SP was within itself very hectic. I used to at 8:39 when I used to come to my house, I'll just scan through some papers, read a few books while having my drink. So that was my routine. Hardly 1.5 hours before dinner.
Is it that you were just doing it because you were trying, or was it that you
Nah, nah,
knew
nah.
you were going to get it? Or
I thought just I have got a chance. Let's take it.
okay,
So I wrote just like that.
why not?
Yeah.
And it happened.
And it happened. It clicked.
Yeah. What kind of a person is cut to be an IAS officer?
Yeah. Someone who likes a lot of varied experience, who's open to new ideas, new concepts, new people, who is concerned about the well being of the society, who wants to make a change to the society, and he can do all this while he's doing his day to day firefighting.
Okay. Hmm.
So, I mean, there are a lot of kind of virtues which ought to be there in an IAS officer for him to be successful in different various roles. Like being an administrative secretary is a different role altogether. Being a DM is different. Being in pollution department is different. So you keep on changing departments.
Hmm.
So different fields, they ask for different things.
Okay. And coming to Daman, you're posting in Daman. There's so many different, it's such an interesting area because it's
Yeah.
prone to climate change. There's a lot of disaster management. It's a hub for industry.
Mhm.
It has a potential for tourism.
Mhm.
And, I'm loving being here. It's such a beautiful place. I went to see the promenade and I was just amazed because it looks something like a developed country. I don't think I've seen that anywhere in India. So when you first came to Daman, what were some of the issues that you decided, okay, I want to take on?
So initially, when I came to Daman, the infra was not that up to the mark. So in 2016, our LG Shri Praful Patel, he has joined as the administrator of Daman, Diu and Dadra Nagar Haveli. And in 2020, these three territories, I mean these two territories, they came together. There was a merging. So the kind of interest he took in infrastructure, I actually thought I should take advantage of this, and I should do my bit in developing the infra. He is a visionary person. Let me tell you this. He he has a vision for this place, and fortunately, he had almost like 8 years now to implement his vision, and because of that, you can see the things which have changed. When I came in 2020, I got the charge of Secretary PWD, which is a very important department in this territory because infrastructural change. I mean, it has been piecemeal, but it has been regular, and things have turned altogether. I mean, there has been a real difference when I came and now things how things are. So Daman was a watering hole for Gujarat guys. Now they come for the infrastructure. Tourism has increased by leaps and bounds. So when I came, for example, you talked about the promenade. So this Namo road. It's about 5.5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. So as Secretary PWD, I was the one who was involved with the tender. I did the tender. We did the tender. We did the work order, and from there till the completion of the project, though it was kind of tricky because of CRZ regulation and all, with the litigation in High Court and everything, those who ultimately got benefited out of it, like actually they are making millions now. They were the ones who went to the High Court in litigation. So now looking back in the hindsight, they must be thinking that what they have done, they unnecessarily delayed a very important project. From there, from the conception of the project to inauguration by the PM, as a collector last year in March, PM came down over here and he inaugurated this project. And similarly for the medical college, the Namo Medical College at Dadra Nagar Haveli, Silvassa. So that project also, from the conception to the final inauguration by PM, I was associated with these two projects. So this is just an example. They were big ticket projects. This was almost 150 crores. That was almost 200 plus crores, 250 crores. PPCH hospital is coming. That is almost 300 crores. They were the big ticket projects. So I was involved with almost 3,000 to 4,000 crore rupees of works which were completed in the 3 years time. At my juniority, this is quite a bit. This kind of experience which people will love to get. So that's it. And then I got into DMship. So this is something which is a dream for every IAS aspirant to become the collector. So the cliched collector. So there's a lot which you can do for general public as a collector. The one vulnerable group which I like to target, and I've been working for them, is the immigrant labor from UP and BR. So the general condition of residents of Daman is good. They are socioeconomically, they are doing okay. But these immigrants, they are in poor socioeconomic state. So whatever is to be done in future, or we are planning like systematic chawls, water supply, sewerage, health issues, that we are targeting the chawl people, the immigrants who are working in the factories, the industries.
Oh, that's really wonderful. I'm very happy to hear, and congratulations on all the amazing projects.
Thank you.
It's really nice to hear. So, what is a typical day in your life, and what is the most challenging part of your job?
See, the most challenging part, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Routine is
Yeah.
nothing extraordinary. The most challenging part is I have learned it from someone that whatever you do, but make a list of 5 to 6 things which you have to do in a day. Put it on a piece of paper, keep crossing those things, those tasks which you have done, and then do the rest of it, the rest of the things, because you have to multitask. Someone is coming from the PDA, the public, this planning and development agency, and then someone is coming from Daman Club, someone is coming from Excise, someone is coming from VAT, and they keep coming in, and all of things pile up, and your important things you can't spare time for. So what I was telling you was these 4 or 5 points. I write them daily. I come with a piece of paper which I put on my table in the morning, and most of the days the best I can do is three or maybe two, and some days even not even one. So that's the most challenging part.
I like that hack though, because I mean, thinking of all the things, I mean, just before the interview, we were seeing, you in action, and it seemed like you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things on your plate. And I was just wondering, I mean, how do you do it all? And seems like a very good hack, I think, for most people who sort of, are very busy and have a lot of responsibility, because this job comes with so much responsibility. Yeah. So, you've been posted in multiple areas, and one thing I'm very interested in is also every area will have its own language, its own culture.
Yeah.
So as someone, you are coming from the outside, and now you're sort of in charge, and people are coming to you, and you're working with everyone. So how do you manage the language barrier? How do you sort of assimilate yourself into sort of the cadre you're in?
See, I like to give credit to my boss for this.
Okay.
From the very first day I came to this place, I remember it was 13th no, it was 14th February. It was a Valentine's Day. That was the first meeting he took, 14th February 2020. And he spoke to me in Gujarati. And here I was coming from Chandigarh. I stayed there for 5 years, listening to Punjabi throughout. I had just mastered Punjabi, and now here I am. The first day my boss is talking to me in Gujarati, and I was like, "What?" But he kept on talking in Gujarati only.
So do you
So
speak Gujarati?
no, I don't. I can after 2 3 packs, but generally I don't. So it's like I can understand Gujarati up to pura 100%, and I can read Gujarati because there are very few alphabets which are different from Hindi, but then it's tricky. So handwritten Gujarati reading is a bit difficult at
Tough.
times.
Yeah.
But
it
printed
is.
I can easily read.
Okay.
And apart from a few very heavy accents, I can understand 100% of it, 95% of it.
Okay, that's amazing. And actually, I want to know a little bit more about you before, because we started off with the London thing, and then you were on a holiday, and then the conversation. But who were you before all of that? Where did you sort of grow up? What were some of those early influences that may have prompted you to take up this role?
Okay. So I was born in Gwalior. So for the uninitiated, it's hardly about 200 kilometers from Delhi. It's a town near Delhi. And it's in Madhya Pradesh, the northern tip of Madhya Pradesh, the infamous Chambal area. So my family is basically from a very backward district near Gwalior, which is called Bhind, and it was affected by the dacoity problem in 60s, 70s, even late 80s, and no more dacoits right now. But you must have seen this Pan Singh Tomar and all. Pan Singh Tomar was from Murana, but there have been pretty infamous dacoits in Bhind. So my early influence, my late influence, whatever you call it, is my father only. No one else influenced me in my life. And whatever good or bad I am, it's because of my father. Bad things as well. So my father, yeah. So I did my schooling first 5 years from Indore, then mostly from Gwalior. Then with 12th I got into MBBS. I did my MBBS from Government Medical College Indore. Then I went to UK, stayed there for an year and a half. Came back, wrote, got into IRS. My first posting was Muzaffarpur in Bihar. So I was there for almost 7 8 months. I was in charge of northern Bihar, large chunk of the border with Nepal. And then I got into IPS, got trained in Hyderabad for an year, then was posted as city SP in Ujjain. then additional SP in Saga, and then SPCID in Bhopal. And this is my second posting only in IAS. For the first 5 years, I was in Chandigarh. I was SDM, ADC, Municipal Commissioner, and all those sorts in Chandigarh. And then I'm here.
Daman. And what, you spoke about your father, and I love that you said the bad things also, because I think
Yeah,
we can all relate, we learn the
yeah,
good from our parents, and also we pick up some
yeah.
of the bad
Bad
habits. So,
habits.
can you tell me a little bit more about the influence he had on you and that relationship?
Hmm. Uh, he's a very unorthodox fellow, kind of like he's steadfast. वो सलमान खान वाला डायलॉग है ना वो कि एक बार मैंने सोच लिया तो फिर क्या किसी किसी
Yeah.
की नहीं सुनता क्या इस टाइप के आई एम
What
नॉट
is
दैट
it?
रिजिड
Yeah.
बट ही इज डैम रिजिड आई मीन
Wow.
he he once barged into his senior's residence and threatened him to get him killed, to kill him himself, because he was unnecessary kind of pushing him to the brink. And the result was that he was compulsory retired from service and he fought a long legal battle for almost 10 years. This was what, 96, 97? And he was compulsory retired and then he got back into service in 2005 6. So for 10 long years, he was running the family through the pension he was getting. And it was really meager, a very small amount. So now you can get an idea of what kind of a fellow he was. He was not quarrelsome, but you have to think twice before meddling with him. So I had a few issues like that. I don't see myself like that, but I had to face a few issues with my attitude, which I am trying to evolve into a more, sophisticated guy now. And at times I can be abusive, but I think I have disciplined myself a lot.
I love how self-aware you are. That's very rare. So earlier this year, obviously there was a general election, and as a DC, how involved were you in the election process in Daman?
See, this was a very atypical election. This seat has been consecutively won by the ruling party in center for the past what, 2, 3 times now. This election was an election of change for Taman and Diu, and the independent candidate who has won, he he was at a better position from the very start, and we knew of it. And he had a lot of distrust in us and the election process. So the most important thing was to establish the trust and to kind of cater for the trust deficit. So we try to make everything transparent. We kind of ignored a few mistakes which he did. I mean, filing mistakes and all that, and we tried to correct them. We were kind of a bit lenient on him and a bit stringent on the the incumbent MP, and tried to make a balance. He was so worried that we'll tamper with the EVMs and all that that he wanted the live footage and everything, and I gave everything to him. I ensured that there is a live YouTube live of this EVM center where the EVMs are stored, and he was really worried. He thought that we are with the establishment and we will try to defeat him. So, and he finally won. He won by almost 8,000, 7,000 votes. And after that, he acknowledged that he was really worried about it. He had a lot of trust deficit. But the way we handled it was something very soothing for him. That is what he
It
said.
seems very collaborative, working with someone and versus against anybody. So.
See, if you say that it was collaborative, even then it is wrong.
Yeah.
He was the underdog.
Right.
He was an independent candidate. He was fighting against the ruling party candidate. And we had to cater for that. We had to address his trust deficit. So we never collaborated with him. It was just addressing the trust deficit.
Addressing
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. In 2019, Daman and Diu became a union territory. So What is a major difference when governing a union territory?
See, I can't. I mean, I don't know because I came here in 2020 and I was secretary of the combined DDD. I mean, Daman Diu Dadra Nagar Haveli Union Territory. So I have no idea about. But it was definitely an unnecessary wastage of resources and duplication of work. What is the sense of keeping these three territories further subdivided into two territories? There is a historical reason for that. The Dadra Nagar Haveli got liberated earlier in the early 50s,
Okay.
and we got liberated in 1961 along with Goa.
Okay.
So Goa, Daman and Diu, they used to be together till 1980s. Then Daman and Diu got separated. And the logical corollary was these three had to come together one day. That one day was 2020.
So, are there any changes that you've noticed that you've applied locally that can sort of be good examples nationally?
See, yeah, there are a few things. First of all, we have come up with a new ODP and the GDR for the district of Daman as well as DU and DNH.
Can you
Yeah,
explain that?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
have to explain it to you. This ODP is an overall development plan, and GDR is general development rules. So you are from Mumbai, you will have a hint of what an overall development plan is. It is dividing. It is kind of a master plan of a city or a master plan of a district. That what zones you want to keep as development zones, what zones you want to keep as green zones, what zones you want to keep an industrial zone. All right, you getting it?
Yeah.
So then the GDR, like what kind of access will have how tall a building, what kind of FSI is allowed in what zone. FSI is floor space index. So see, an FSI of 3 means in a plot of 1000 square feet, an FSI of 3 means that you can construct something which is total build-up area is 3000 square feet. So this is a very important and a very this is a very characteristic exercise because this dictates how a district will be coming up in the future. So your one mark on the pen will decide the fate of a particular area. That you have decided that this will be an agriculture zone, no more industries,
How
no
do you
more
decide?
residential.
What is the decision?
See, again, this is a very tricky and a very ticklish subject. So how I came with a solution was, we published the initial map, and that initial map was done published after a lot of deliberation and exercises. And I took a call that I won't accept any change in this initial map because that is how the hanky panky happens. So, say for example, if I have designated a particular place to be non-development zone, now someone colludes with someone and changes that non-development to development zone, so his land prices shoots all of a sudden. So he's doing, I mean, he's going to get enriched in this process.
Yeah.
So he enriches the other person in this process. So for that, I decided that there won't be any changes whatsoever in the initial plan. So our initial plan and the final plan were entirely the same, a copy of each other, no changes whatsoever.
Wow.
So this is, I think, this is one of the very few ODPs which have been published, which have been accepted and now a norm, and there have been not even a single allegation of corruption or corrupt practices. But this is not something which I want to get replicated.
Okay.
What I want to get replicated is, we have done a clause that up to 5000 square feet of land if you have, and if you want to construct something which is less than 3000 square feet purely for residential purposes, not more than 10-meter height, then you need not to take any permissions from the town planning department. You can get it certified from an architect and you can construct it on your own. So this saves them a lot of hassles.
Okay.
The whole process is now online. That is there in almost all major cities now. So your plan you can submit online. It will be conveyed to you that it has been cleared online. Then you can get the occupancy certificate online. So we have done the whole process from the start to the end completely online.
So you made it very, very easy for people to build. And,
Yes.
yeah. But I love that there was what you said about your plan and then the actual there was no difference.
Yeah.
And, because I'm sure a lot of young people will be watching this, people who really care and they want to make our country a better place. And these kind of things are very heartening to hear. So thank you for that anecdote. So coming to the technology, I think it's really amazing that you did that, because that's where we are heading, and we have to incorporate technology in our systems. So as a leader, in the public service, how do you see technology playing a role in government efficiency and service delivery?
See, just right now, I gave you the example of how we did the whole building plan thing and the occupation certificate thing online. This is helping. This is a lot of help to the citizens. I mean, I have been on this side of the government, and things were really, really tough to get your file moved. You have, it's a very cumbersome task. Once it goes online, you can just with a click of the button, you can see where your file is, where it's pending, for what it's pending. So it eases things. The government service delivery gets eased. Similarly, what we are planning is we are computerizing basically the digitization of whole land records. So once this digitization of land records is done and the construction plan, these two can speak, then it will be completely seamless. The transfer of land to sale, purchase, and all these things, and the construction plan and everything. So if you are planning to build, say, a multi-story somewhere, from the land records, land purchase to the completion of your building, everything will be online.
Wow.
No more touts, hopefully. No more middlemen, hopefully. So this is what the digital part can do. And digital help in, I mean, this cannot be overstressed, the digital help in service delivery. But also there are innovations. What I've felt was this sterile vial adapter I'll talk to you about.
Okay.
During COVID, you must recall that there used to be a vial for Covishield or Covaxin if you have gone for that vaccination.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So every time the nurse will puncture the vials, this rubber cap, and take out the medicine, and then inject it, the serum.
Right, right.
So that multiple puncturing, it kind of the basically the sterile nature of the serum is affected, and micro rubber, microplastics get into it, and that gets into your body. So with the collaboration with Mr. Kairos Dadachanji, he is one of the renowned Sovereign Pharmaceuticals is there. We collaborated with them. He's a renowned pharma guy. He's coming up with one of Asia's biggest vaccine plant in Daman, along with Adar Poonawalla. So this guy, along with him, we came up with a sterile vial adapter. So there was their innovation, which we came through, which we saw, and we collaborated with the, I mean, we were kind of, you know, the interface between the industry and the hospital. And we introduced it to our government hospital for various vaccinations. And it's doing good. This is something which is scalable.
Wow. So
Which can do wonders.
why is it like why doesn't everyone know about this? I think that it's
Yeah, that's one of our
something that,
weaknesses.
yeah, because I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, this is where I guess your training as a orthopedic and doctor comes into play, because you can come up with these kind of solutions. That's kind of scary. I didn't know that sort of we're also injecting microplastics
No, no,
into
no,
our
no.
system.
This should not be highlighted that microplastics or rubber is
Yeah,
getting injected, because anyways there are so many no sayers to vaccines.
true, true. But so what? Like, why don't more people know about this?
Well, we are planning on scaling it
Okay.
to even higher numbers. Let's see where we reach.
Okay, so you already gave the advice for, aspirants that you need to understand the concepts, right? But is there any other myth that you want to debunk about cracking these exams?
One of the myths is you need to be a topper throughout to get through UPSC.
I thought that.
On the contrary, toppers seem to be less likely to be cracking UPSC. That is what I have
Why?
observed.
Why?
I don't know. There's something wrong with the system. But toppers are less likely to get through UPSC, and somehow mediocre people do good.
You don't have any reason for that?
I don't know. But that is how it is.
Okay, but I like that because I thought that. I thought that, because you have to be sort of, the stopper, but if you're, because it's kind of motivational also that if you study and you understand and you put in whatever is required, you will get it. So, what are some of your hacks or tips to, crack the 3 levels? Because there are 3 levels, and if you even fail one, you get back to the
Back to square
previous,
one.
yeah, square one. So, what are some of those study hacks, or should one go to a coaching center? How do you approach it?
See, it all depends upon the person. Coaching center, you have to go to Delhi once. I mean, whether you join a coaching center or not, you get a lot of exposure there. You get to know what people are doing, what kind of people are where. You get a circle, you be with them, you talk to them. Don't get the negative energy from frustrated people, but do understand what people are doing, from which sources they are reading. Ultimately, it boils down to information. So you need to have a brush with Delhi. Now, what I'll emphasize upon is current affairs. Do newspapers. People talk about the Hindu, the Hindu, the Hindu. Yeah, the Hindu is good. The Hindu opinion articles or the middle page articles, the editorials, they are really good. But for current affairs, you can have other options as well. I mean, there are websites, science and technology. There are the India yearbook. That is a very important resource. See, frankly, I'm outdated. The first time I cleared UPSC was in 2008. So
Was
it's
it on
been
your
like
first
ages.
attempt?
That was my first attempt. So that was like ages. And now there is just one subject. Things are already easier. For mains, do answer writing practice as much as possible. But don't make it a pivotal point, like the center point of your existence, that you keep on practicing your answer writing. Because all that answer writing practice and these things, these hacks, they vanish into thin air when you start writing in the mains.
Right.
And the interview, do as much as mock interviews as possible.
Mock interviews, how do you go about that?
There are coaching institutes in
Coaching,
Delhi
yeah,
who get,
through that.
and apart from that, get your one of your crazy friend who's ready to spend some 4 or 5 hours a day with you, and let him ask even idiotic questions. Let him grill you. That's the proper word.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
good friend.
what do you think is next for you? What is your next milestone? You've achieved so many things. What do you want to do next?
Can't say. I haven't prepared a to-do list or a bucket list or an next achievement yet. I'll take things as they come. So yeah, next posting. I'm looking for next posting. I'm already posted to Jammu and Kashmir, and I'm looking forward to work over there, especially in the valley if I can.
What are you most looking forward to over there?
I want to work for the valley people, and want to make them feel that you are as mainstream as we are, and we are as concerned for you as we are for people of maybe Uttar Pradesh or Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Madhya Pradesh.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is something that is very frustrating to you?
See, I'll give you an example. Government of India has approved almost 120 plus crore rupees and given technical approval for a modern fishing harbor in Diu. So this was one project for which I was running from pillar to post for almost 2 years, and this was a project which was very close to my heart. See, there's a lot of fish catch at huge commercial level in Diu, but all that get exported to either China through Veravel or low-paying countries. It's not going to EU because there are very strict EU standards for it, fish handling standards. So for that you need a modern fishing harbor where you don't handle the fish through your hands, and the fish is handled in a very scientific manner, stacked in a very scientific manner, is kept fresh and exported to countries which gives a better value to it. So you get a lot of foreign exchange to it.
Okay.
So it was frustrating for such a project to get delayed by 2 3 years time. Should have happened
Why?
earlier.
Why was it getting delayed?
I can't divulge details, but it could have been done earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Was not at our level, was not at UT level. It was delayed at some other level. And similarly, dredging. That was our own this thing. We could have expedited the dredging process for almost three. It took us 3 years to finally award. I think the work order has been done some 1 to 2 months back, or maybe just 15 days back, for dredging of Diu port and Vanakbara port, which will be a boon for the fishermen in Diu.
Wow.
So it
And
was
is the
delayed for
modern
3 years.
scientific hub happening now for the fisheries?
Yes, yes.
It's happening.
Yeah, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. It will be a place to be. I mean, maybe 2, 3 years down the line, you should go and visit it. It will
I
be the
don't think
most
anywhere
modern.
else in India they're doing
No,
this.
they are not doing any modern harbor where no fish handling is done by hands. It will be all through
So it's
crates and systematically. There will be conveyor belts. There will be frozen rooms. There will be chilling rooms and things like that. No
wow.
fish will be lying outside. There won't be any wastage of fish or rotting of fish and things of that sort. And it will add value to our exports. That's the most important thing.
It's amazing. I mean, I live right next to a fishing village in
Yeah,
Bombay,
I know.
and I'm so used to seeing, people drying the fish and handling it with hands and everything like that.
So
But
for
this,
drying of fish also, we
yeah,
have come up with a solar solution, a
okay.
solar box for drying of fishes, which cuts down the odor.
Wow.
You must be really perturbed by the odor of fish.
Yes.
Now you must be used to it,
Yeah,
but it takes
it
time to get
is.
used to.
So wow, I don't think I've seen that in India, and I think that with this example, surely there can be it can be extrapolated to other areas and as well.
Can
So
be, can be.
that's very fascinating, and even the sterile vaccine, that's such an interesting program that then can be scaled up throughout for our use in India. It's so interesting to see, for you, the work that you're doing, it has these tangible impacts, and
Thank
you're
you.
actually sort of bettering India and bettering people's lives, and there's so much scope in our country. There's so much work that needs to be done, so it's really nice to speak to people like you who are doing it. Is there one IAS officer that you admire?
T.N. Sheshan.
Why?
He was the guy who made Election Commission of India neutral in real sense and with a very firm approach. And
Okay.
in those days when nobody was standing for him, he took a call and he did it, and in very tough scenario. And he did a systemic change. The
Okay.
ECI has become the
So what did he
paragon of
do?
neutrality. What did he do?
Yeah.
I used to read newspapers those days. He used to listen to no one. He used to do things by rule, by the book. So those were the heydays of box looting and all kind of bad influence in elections, money and all that stuff. He made ECI a neutral
Wow.
organization. And elections in India are so systematic and systems are in place. In that, the biggest role is that of Mr. T. Initiation.
So really we have a lot to thank for him, because I'm always amazed at our whole election process.
Yeah.
We have so many people and it just feels so smooth every time one goes to vote. So thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Tara.
this interview and your time. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone who listens to this will love it as well.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Thanks.